What's up guys, thanks for joining me for another video today, and today we're going to be talking about cultural shocks. Now, if you've been following the series, you know that I went to South Africa recently to meet my birth family. So today I'm just going to run you through a few of the cultural shocks that I experienced whilst out there with my family. Now, one of the first things that I found quite interesting actually was the weather.
Boring.
We went out in June and it's actually winter season in South Africa. So, you know, I think of winter in the UK and you think it's freezing cold, it's snowing, I'm going to need extra blankets, a thick coat, and that's what I was advised. So we were there and we were kind of good with the weather. Like, it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. There was some days where it was actually quite warm. Came out of our apartment, absolutely had to take the hoodies off, the jumpers off. It was too warm. And I got to my birth mum's house and her and Auntie's there. And Auntie's got the thickest blanket wrapped around her shoulders. So she's got a coat on in the house and a blanket. Now to them, they were freezing. Auntie kept saying, I am freezing cold. Like, she was so not used to the weather. And the reason why we decided to go to South Africa in June, when we knew it was winter season, A, it's a lot cheaper anyway than going in peak season when the schools are closed and stuff. But B, because we've got a baby who's 6 months, we wanted to make sure that for his first holiday, he wasn't too hot. We didn't know how he'll be with the heat. So if we were to go there in summer season, it can go up to the highs are as high as 40 degrees. Now, I love heat. I like to be warm. I am always about keeping the heating on. I like to be warm in bed where my husband likes the sheets cold. But even 40 degrees for me, that would be shocking. That would be too much. So I'm finding now in hindsight, the weather was perfect for us, for what we're used to. And there were some days where the sun was out and it was absolutely beautiful. And it just really shocked me walking around South Africa. We stayed in Johannesburg and you see people in big, thick coats when the sun's beating down. Like when I say I was busting a sweat, and I walked past the salon where they're blow drying hair. Now, if you know anything about when you've got a hair dryer on, it heats up the room. We're in the mall walking past the salon and the women are there in their thick coats, leather jackets, all zipped up. And I'm saying this is insane to me because it's just, we're acclimatized to England. So they kept asking us, are you not cold? And no, I think I was cold a couple of times, but it was late on in the evening and the door was actually open because my birth mum was cooking. So she wanted to air out the room, and that's probably one of the only times that I felt cold in a sense. So yeah, that was a big shock for me. You've got people that just want to have genuine conversations with you, interact with you. The crime rate is quite high, and we'll get onto a little bit of that in a moment. So sometimes someone who's probably even trying to rob you will try and talk to you to kind of finesse you to get your stuff. But we'll talk about that in a minute because we're from the hood. So we're streetwise, we know the signs, we know what it is, and you definitely have to be on your A game. Just like anywhere else, just like out here as well. But going back to what I was saying, in terms of the openness and the friendliness and the talking, they just seem more forthcoming, and it's from all communities as well. It's not just from South Africans, because it's quite a diverse country. So yeah, I found myself sort of taking a beat, like taking a moment, taking a pause when anyone would interact with me, just to make sure that it's a genuine interaction and just to show them, no, don't rant with me either. But a lot of the time it is very pleasant, and yeah, they're a lot more outgoing. They want to have proper conversations with you. Even we were walking on the streets and this man was like, oh my gosh, look at this family, like a family of boys. And he's talking to my husband, and we're walking up, and they're interacting, and he was genuinely like this is a blessing, like how beautiful. And that was nice. That was really, really nice. Another thing that I realised was a culture shock, and then I had to speak to my birth mum and auntie and even my brother to find out what the deal is. Okay, so my husband pushing a pushchair. It's like alien out there. It's alien to see a man pushing their kids around. Now, I don't know if that is a thing or not, but what I got from my family was that, oh yeah, men don't tend to be as hands-on. So whenever we were on the streets, my husband would push the pushchair, and it was constant. The looks, like people watching, like, what's going on there? Like, looking at me like, how did you get him to push the pushchair? Like, what have you guys got set up? It was so funny, and I was teasing my husband about it. I'm not even gonna go into some of the jokes, but some of the women were just looking like, oh damn, like this is good. And even my birth mom and auntie have said to me, like, you're so blessed, and which I know I am blessed to have the husband that I have. But they were talking about, they just can't believe how hands-on he is. And I'm like, in my world, that's a standard thing. I know it's not standard to everybody, but it's what I expect of my husband. It's how we do life. It's how our unit is built. It's what we do. So I found that very interesting. Now, I said I'll touch on the crime. If you know about South Africa, you know that the crime is quite high. But they are doing a lot and putting a lot in place to deal with that. There were a lot of checks, like a lot of the times when we were on the roads, because we caught Ubers everywhere, which were surprisingly cheap. Again, we'll get onto that in a minute. There were a lot of stops and searches and police checks constant. Now, one thing that I absolutely loved was, I don't know if it's just with the caliber of apartment that we had, but the security level was crazy. Like, security, they don't play. They've got signs outside, and the signs say, do not be on your phone outside, put your phones away. Whenever we'd leave the premises to go in a taxi, they'd walk with us right up until we get into the car. As soon as we pulled up outside, security would jump up, come outside, and then come to the taxi and walk us in. And they were really, really on point. Same with my mum's premises as well. The security level's crazy. It's a gated community. Just insane, guys, just insane. You drive up there and they do a full check of the taxi. They check the boot. You can't enter without getting a code from someone that lives within those premises. So my mum would have to send a code in order for the car to enter, and I'd have to say we're in a taxi, so she'd get the details of the taxi. And like, they're just on point with security. So I know that you can be safe out there. I do think you need money, but whilst we're on the topic of money, coming from the UK to going to SA, guys, we could be millionaires over there, man. Like, I'm telling you. Okay, let me think of some examples. So I had a meal, me and hubby had a meal. I think I had a cocktail. It was a long iced tea. It was delicious. I also had, I think it was a full English, but it wasn't called a full English, but it was like a full English. But I also had rump steak on there as well. And that came up to around 121 rands. Now, if you do the conversion, that's £5, my brother. That's £5, my sister. Like, the pound stretches so far. I was blown away. There's times when I caught taxis and I did the conversion and I spent £2.50. And I'm saying, what am I doing? Like, what? UK, do better. That's something my sons were saying. They're going to laugh when they see this. But I'm going to say it, UK do better. Because what is going on? To live there, you can really, really stretch your pound and make what you will of life. We looked at a 6-bedroom house. You see the rooms over here? They ain't got nothing on them rooms. Like, them bedrooms, you could have a whole family of 6 in just one room. The rooms are big on the houses I was looking at anyway. So it was a 6-bedroom house. It had a massive pool outside. It had a separate study. You see what I'm telling you, right? And a balcony. It was just phenomenal, amazing. I'm going to work out what it was because I know what it was in pounds. But let me just... 1 second. Okay, so it was around 729,225 rands. Yeah? That's how much the house was, which sounds extortionate. Do the conversion. £30,000. 30 grand, guys. What? If you're looking at a 6-bedroom house here, I reckon minimum 500,000 for a 6-bed over here. So if we do the math, really, you could buy around 15 of those in SA. Like, there's a business idea for somebody out there. Like, it's it's crazy. 30 grand. That's a deposit for a house over here. That's 10%, my friend. Like, oh my God. Crazy. And that's all I got to say on the matter. I'm not even going to share my thoughts any further on that one. My mind was so blown. My mind was so taken back. How they do life out there is amazing. And I didn't even really get to touch on things too much because a lot of my time was family time, catching up, taking a minute to even process what's going on. And yeah, there's a lot that you'll learn throughout this journey. Yeah, man. Even now I'm thinking about it and my mind is blown. The quality of life and good weather as well. South Africa, you were amazing. So yeah, those are a few of the culture shocks that I experienced whilst being out in South Africa. And it was a beautiful time, guys. And we were there for 2 weeks. And I feel like we just touched the surface. So when I go back, I'll be going to Cape Town. I'll be going to Botswana, Durban. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it all. I just needed to get the formalities out the way to begin with. And that surely was done. But yes, that is the end of today's video. And I really want to thank you for joining me and supporting me on this journey once again. And before you go, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you can know when the next video is out. But for now, guys, look after yourself, enjoy the weather and take care.